Actor Graham McTavish, who plays Honourable Knight Sir Harold Westering, opened up about the possibility of his character getting the chop in House of the Dragon and comparisons to Ned Stark, played by Sean Bean, who was the paragon of virtue before his untimely demise. Sir Harold featured in the opening episode The Heirs of the Dragon as the Lord Commander of the King's Guard and the Chief Protector of the Monarch, who gently chided a young Princess Rhaenyra, Millie Alcock, after she was running late for her duties as cupbearer at a meeting of the small council. The King's Guard Knight is a loyal and kindly figure in the often harsh and uncompromising world of Westeros, as he doted on Rhaenyra. Scottish star McTavish, 61, said of Sir Harold, "He really is a straight arrow, sort of acts as a moral center somewhat." McTavish elaborated, saying the original series featured a multitude of characters with varying degrees of morality across the spectrum, from those who were evil to those who did bad things but were also good, to some who were just very good and very pure. The star said his character fell into the latter category as a standout, morally upright, decent human being, joking it was an unusual feeling for him as an actor given some of the more villainous antagonists he's portrayed in the past, such as Dougal Mackenzie in Outlander, Demon Dromos in Lucifer, and Spymaster Sigismund Dijkstra in Netflix's The Witcher. How to watch Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon in the UK, US and abroad. Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon is the first spin-off series from HBO set in George R.R. Martin's epic fantasy world of Westeros. The new TV show is set hundreds of years before the events of Game of Thrones and sets its sight on the Targaryen dynasty. Looking to watch House of the Dragon in the UK, US or abroad? Here's how you can watch it wherever you are. He went on to address whether this made Sir Harold a prime candidate to get the chop, given the Westeros track record on honorable characters. The actor said, "Well, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Honorable men? Yeah, up to a point with a world like Thrones and Westeros, it becomes a bit of a lottery. There are the ones who you never expect to die and they die within the first season. Then there are the ones who you think, what's happening with them? They don't seem to be doing a great deal. And suddenly they become enormously important further down the line, so that's the great trick with the writing and structure with this world." The actor admitted he was left stunned along with viewers everywhere after Ned was killed towards the end of the first series of Game of Thrones after being billed as the main character, comparing it to Janet Leigh's sudden death at the start of Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 masterpiece Psycho. "I think me along with everybody else was like, what? Why would you do that? It's Sean Bean," he said. McTavish added, "I mean, it's so shocking. But that's the genius of that show, is that it pulls the rug from under your feet. So, who knows what will happen to Sir Harold?" Although the star wouldn't give any hints about whether Sir Harold would survive, he did say the knight was a world-weary character and one of the few to have seen war after serving previous kings, something starkly illustrated by the scenes of extreme violence and brutality at the tourney. Sir Harold's fate seems all the more precarious even he is intimately involved in the central line of succession plot because he is present constantly as Viserys' bodyguard, willing to take the fall for his king after swearing an oath to serve and forego family for duty. He is also wiser than King Viserys, Paddy Considine, with Sir Harold very much aware of the monarch falling prey to the machinations of his supposed allies and cohorts amid a nest of vipers. McTavish said, "Everything that is done, he hears it and he has his own feelings about it, but he's also discreet. So he has his own way of dealing with it and processing it, and that is something that develops throughout the season is what I would say." Along with House of the Dragon, McTavish is now working on Season 3 of The Witcher, another fantasy epic adapted from the novels by Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski, again donning the mantle of Dijkstra. The star also shot Season 2 of the factual series Men in Kilts with his former Outlander co-star and friend Sam Heughan earlier this year, with the pair traipsing across New Zealand, where McTavish calls home, and discovering the Scottish influences on the country. Then there's McTavish's cowboy movie Somewhere in Montana, which sees the star taking on a very different part in this contemporary drama set in America, which is in post-production. McTavish is busier than ever, with IMDb listing a whole host of other projects in the works, including films Chasing Nightmares, Perfidious, and The Vicar's Wife, as well as the star again leaning his voice to Dracula in Netflix's adult animated series Castlevania. House of the Dragon airs on HBO on Sundays and Sky Atlantic on Mondays and streams on Now.